Well, voice-controlled technology is on the rise both here and around the world, and it is changing how we go about our day-to-day lives. Devices like Google Home, Amazon's Echo, and the upcoming Apple HomePod, which operate like little assistants aimed at making our lives easier, are starting to crack into the Australian market. But with the smart devices on the rise, there are warnings that Australian businesses are underprepared to deal with their increasing popularity. Joining me now live here in the studio to talk tech is technology expert Dale Beaumont. Thanks very much for your company. So how do these things work exactly?
So pretty much you put them on your desk, you plug them in, and then you start off with a voice command, in this case, OK Google, and then you just speak. And it's basically like a voice-powered search. So at the beginning... Only
search? Or can I get it to read newspaper articles to me, for example?
Yeah, in the beginning you can do things like weather or book a restaurant or find information. You can also ask it to spell words or do some maths. But in the future, you're going to be able to book flights, add things to your shopping cart for your next order, and even do things like pay bank fees and things like that.
So why is this voice technology on the rise versus doing it yourself on a device?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch...
quicker, or you can do two things at once? Is that the theory?
Yeah, well, because speech was never good enough to be able to be that accurate that it could be trusted. And so over time, we've had to put in commands and put in keys. But now we're getting to the point whereby speech recognition is nearing over 95% accurate. And so now, just based on our voice, we can get things done. So now...
Are people starting to do essays that way? I mean, not this technology, but are students, university students or whatever, starting to write their essays verbally now because of the quality of the technology?
Yeah, you can. You can actually just speak and it can type it up for you now. It can even...
Puts grammar in?
Or put grammar in and punctuation as well. And it can even, once it's typed out a sentence, it even knows what are the wrong words, and because it doesn't actually make sense, and it will go and correct them and fix them up. So these devices now here in Australia, there's the biggest one of all is going to be the HomePod, which is going to be released in Australia
and what's unique to that one?
Well, it's produced by Apple, and Apple being the biggest maker of hardware in Australia, and of course just being before Christmas, people always love the latest Apple gadget, so it's expected to sell millions of devices over the next few years.
And does this sort of stuff do other things around your house? Like, can it change the temperature of your fridge or turn your lights on and off, or is it purely an internet device?
So it can be plugged into pretty much anything. In fact, in America, there's one called the Amazon Echo, and now it's got 15,000 skills that have been built to do all sorts of different things. So it can be plugged into all of your home appliances as well. But soon, this will become the gateway through which you talk to businesses as well. And that's where companies need to be ready to be receiving messages on the other end. And the message to companies is start building your own digital assistant.
Well, on that, I mean, we mentioned before off the top leading into talking to you that businesses are potentially underprepared for it. How might they be underprepared? What are the challenges there?
Well, these devices are they're available now. And companies really aren't ready in terms of if I right now was to say I'd like to book some flights, Qantas is not on the other end with a service to book flights.
And they're missing out, presumably, is the theory. So
absolutely.
First mover advantage. I mean, is the theory that if Virgin does it, Qantas will do it and vice versa?
It's almost like a restart of the internet in terms of the companies that got in first, that developed websites to sell things, really were those had...
Well, you saw the same thing with when iPhones came on the market, with websites that were adequately adapting to understand that the best way to feature for that.
So this is going to be the interface for the next decade. Every 10 years there's a major shift. It was desktops and then laptops and then mobile phones, but voice is really going to be the next big growth.
You're confident about that? Because there's been other ones that have sort of turned up but then never quite made it. Remember the Walkman? That was a joke.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident in this one. This is now going into appliances. Every big company is betting on this, and we're already seeing the results. In fact, in America, when households had the Amazon Echo, they sold 19% more products in their home than if they didn't have it. So retailers even need to take note of that as well, that if these devices are in, it's so much easier to say, oh, I'm out of milk, can you please add it to my next order, and it's done. You don't have to remember to do it online.
Okay, you sound like you're an advocate for these things. What are the downsides potentially, though?
Well, the downsides are that if you have multiple people, you know, in your family, do they have the authority to make potentially bookings?
So like your child
on
does
your
it.
behalf, yes. But
that'd be voice recognition.
Yeah, Google is even saying it's actually going to be smart enough to recognise the different voices within your family and know who has the authority to place orders and who doesn't. So there is a way around that one. You know, and I can't really think of any other downsides other than the fact that it's just a different interface. And the benefits are you can do it while you're driving to the office, while you're shaving in the morning. You can just get things done and be productive.
Okay, and the two devices that you've got here, we might show them again for our viewers. We had a close-up earlier, so feel free to leave it where it is. You can see yourself over there.
Yeah.
So the one that you're holding, the bigger of the two, and then the smaller one, what is this?
So this one here is the Google Home.
Yep.
And you just simply plug it in.
And you were kind enough to say that I could keep this, correct?
Sure, if you like, but it's actually plugged into my account at the moment.
Okay, well, all the better then. It's got all your credit card details.
Exactly. And so Apple is
got to change the
one.
delivery address.
Yeah, that's right. Apple is bringing out one, which will be about a similar size, and they'll come in black and white. There's also the Amazon Alexa. Well, this is actually the EarPods, and so this is Apple's latest product, and basically it's like having Siri but in your ears. So you just put in your headphones like so. And
see, I've got one of those too, but I wish I could get rid of it because my director always talks to me when I'm trying to talk to you.
So you can just double tap and you start talking to Siri, and you'll be able to again speak to digital assistants to get things done. So whether that be booking flights or doing your banking or even things like ordering groceries as well. Soon, voice will be a major way that we actually do business.
Dale Beaumont, appreciate your insights. Thanks for joining us on Newsday.
Thanks so much.